From the terrifying moment an airplane engine blew apart and caught fire at over 12,000 feet in the air, to a shocking video showing the moment severe turbulence rocked a packed Ryanair flight to Brussels, here are 5 of the scariest videos ever caught on airplanes. Skydiving is a sport that is definitely not for the faint of heart. The most common fear people seem to have is experiencing some sort of parachute malfunction. For the professionals in this video, though, a malfunction ended up being the last thing they had to worry about. On November 23rd of 2013, a group of 9 skydivers boarded 2 separate planes to head out for their final thrill of the day. Everybody on board was either an experienced instructor or a coach with hundreds if not thousands of jumps under their belts. Once the planes reached about 12,000 feet, the groups began to prepare for their jumps. It was precisely at this moment when the unimaginable happened. The planes collided mid-air. Miraculously, everybody involved, including both pilots, managed to survive the ordeal. One of the aircrafts lost its wing in the collision, but the pilot was able to use an emergency parachute to eject before it crashed into the earth. The other pilot was able to land his aircraft a short time later, despite it being pretty heavily damaged. Now, given the scale of the accident and the fact that multiple videos captured it as it happened, the story quickly went viral online, with international news programs covering it as well. An investigation ultimately determined the crash to be the fault of the pilot in the trailing aircraft for not maintaining a proper distance from the other plane. At the end of the day, it is truly a miracle everybody survived. Commercial flights are considered to be one of the safest modes of transportation. Accidents are rare, which is why you hear so much about them when one occurs. Now, of course, things do still go wrong from time to time, leading to some pretty terrifying moments being caught on camera. On February 20th of 2021, a United Airlines flight was scheduled to take off from Denver International Airport en route to Honolulu, Hawaii. Around 4 minutes after takeoff, the plane had reached an altitude of around 12,500 feet, and it was at this exact moment that passengers heard a loud bang. When they looked out the window, they were shocked to see the engine had seemingly exploded and was now on fire. Almost immediately upon this discovery, the flight crew declared a Mayday emergency to air traffic control and requested a return to the airport. Their request was approved. The pilot made a sudden left turn, while other crew members began to go through an emergency checklist. The captain was able to perform a one-engine inoperative approach and landed on runway 26, where he was met with emergency personnel to put out the blaze. Nobody on board or on the ground was injured. Parts of the engine were discovered strewn about the city and were collected as part of the official investigation. The aircraft was brought into a hangar to be examined, and pictures taken reveal the extent of the damage to not only the engine, but to the plane's wing and body. As far as we can tell, the investigation is ongoing to this day. The date was January 15th, 2009. It was a sunny but cold winter day in the city. People were finishing up their day at work, eager for the weekend that was right around the corner. Over at LaGuardia Airport, a U.S. Airways flight bound for Charlotte, North Carolina was scheduled to depart. At 3:25 p.m., after being cleared by air traffic control, the Airbus A320 took off with 150 passengers on board. 2 minutes after takeoff, the plane struck a large flock of Canadian geese at just under 3,000 feet of altitude. Passengers immediately heard the sound of loud bangs and saw that both engines were in flames. At this point, the pilots realized the plane had just lost full power. 20 seconds later, Captain Chesley Sully Sullenberger sent out this mayday call informing the control room what had happened and requested to head back to LaGuardia.
This is Cactus 1539. Hit birds. We've lost thrust on both engines, returning back towards LaGuardia.
Okay, you need to return to LaGuardia. Turn left heading up 220.
220.
A few moments later, he realized that they would not make it and asked to land at Teterboro Airport in New Jersey. A runway was cleared and Captain Sullenberger was informed, only to respond with this chilling message.
Teterboro, Empire, actually LaGuardia departure guy, emergency inbound.
Hey, guys.
Cactus 1529 over the George Washington Bridge, wants to go to the airport right now.
Wants to go to our airport. Check. Does he need assistance?
Yes, it was a bird strike. Can I get him in for runway 1?
Runway 1, that's good.
Cactus 1529, turn right 280, you can land runway 1 at Teterboro.
We can't do it.
Okay, which runway would you like at Teterboro?
We're going to be in the Hudson.
Knowing that they would be landing in the Hudson River, Captain Sullenberger informed flight attendants to brace for impact, while air traffic control asked the Coast Guard to prepare to provide assistance. Roughly 3 minutes later, security cameras in the area captured the exact moment the plane landed in the Hudson.
Eagle 54718, turn left heading 210.
210, 4718. I think he said he was going in the Hudson.
Cactus 1529, Houston.
The ditching was a stunning success. Immediately afterwards, Captain Sullenberger opened the cockpit door and told passengers to evacuate. Within only minutes, rescue boats began to arrive to take people on board. Captain Sully went as far as even walking through the sinking cabin 2 times to make sure everybody got out. Much of the rescue was captured on camera by the Coast Guard, showing people standing on the wings and the moment the first boat arrives. Now, as you can imagine, this incident became headline news around the world for the weeks that followed. Captain Sully became quite the celebrity himself for his unbelievable professionalism, courage, and skill he showed that day. He saved the lives of everybody on board, and for that was awarded many honors. An official for the National Transportation Safety Board described this moment as the most successful ditching in aviation history. Now, if you've ever flown before, then you almost certainly have experienced some level of turbulence. Now, it's caused primarily by changes in flight speed, the direction of air currents, and weather conditions. Turbulence is often pretty mild and short-lived, but in the most extreme examples, can end up being a rather violent experience. Now, back on March 7th of 2017, a Ryanair flight bound for Brussels departed the Dublin International Airport. For a while, things were going fine. As the plane descended and broke below 13,000 feet, it got caught in a meteorological phenomenon known as clear air turbulence and, well, we'll let the video speak for itself. As quickly as the turbulence came, it vanished, much to the relief of those on board. From the video, you can hear the panic in people's voices as the aircraft violently bounces and shakes. The man who took the video later wrote that although the turbulence was short-lived, it was quite powerful, and had people not been seated and properly fastened, it could have been much worse. Nobody on board was injured, and the plane landed shortly thereafter. A few years ago, a terrifying accident occurred at the Toronto Pearson International Airport, and it was all caught on camera by a passenger inside the plane. On January 5th of 2018, a Sunwing plane was backing up when it accidentally collided with a WestJet plane. Now, the Sunwing plane was empty at the time, but the one it hit was not. Immediately, passengers on board began to panic, all while one eyewitness captured the moment as it unfolded.
Oh, keep quiet. Remain seated. Remain seated. Remain seated. Oh, me. Guys, calm down. It's not our plane on fire. Remain seated. Remain seated. Okay.
After a few panic-filled minutes, the passengers were evacuated via an emergency slide that allowed them to escape this dangerous situation, which could have ended much worse. According to the man who took the video, the collision occurred right after the pilot announced that they were short-staffed. They had just landed and were waiting to go to their gate when the collision occurred. Thanks to a speedy evacuation, all 168 passengers and 6 crew members on board walked away completely uninjured. Hey, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, be sure to subscribe to the channel and click the link on screen now. With that said, thank you all for watching, and be sure to tune in next time.